Hello, Darren Alf here from BicycleTouringPro.com. I am in the middle of the forest, in the middle of a bicycle tour, and the last time I was out in the middle of the forest, in the middle of a bicycle tour, I made a video about some of my love stories from the road. And you guys enjoyed that video so much that you've asked me to create a similar video, this time talking about some of the scams that have happened to me or have been attempted on me as I've spent the last 21 years traveling the world on my bicycle. So today I'm going to talk about 4 of the scams that have either been pulled or attempted on me personally as I traveled the world. So scam number 1 happened in Bulgaria. Is a very simple scam. It's a money swap scam. Basically what happened was I was at the border of Bulgaria and Romania. I was coming from Bulgaria crossing into Romania, and I had like a whole bunch of change from Bulgaria, all this money from Bulgaria, and I needed to get rid of it and get new money for Romania. So there was like a coin money exchange thing at the border, and I go up to the guy and I give him all my money and he counts it all, and then he hands me back a bunch of bills and coins that were supposed to be Romanian. You know, I'm exchanging Bulgarian money trying to get Romanian money. So I take the coins, I take the bills, and I cross into Romania. Well, later that day I go to buy something and I look and I realize that like half of the bills that this guy has given me are not even from Romania. They're from Thailand and are totally useless to me. Luckily I'd only exchanged like $10, and the amount of fake bills that he had given me were like worth like $2 or something, and I also got some coins from Thailand as well, and Malaysia I believe, in that exchange. So in total I think the guy took like $3.50 from me, which is not a big deal, but it's something to look out for sure when you're traveling. It's so simple to do, especially when you're in a foreign country. People know that you're a foreigner, that you aren't going to look at and notice that these bills are different. You may not notice until days or weeks later when you actually go and try to spend them. So always check the money before you leave these currency exchange places. Make sure you got the currency that you actually asked for, and you should probably do a little research before you get to the exchange place, just so you know what the currency even looks like. Because like for me, when in that particular instance when I was crossing into Romania, I honestly had no idea what the bills looked like, what the coins looked like, or anything. I just literally handed this guy all my Bulgarian money. He handed me back some money, and I just took it and took off, you know. So that was my bad. I lost $3.50 in the exchange, no big deal, but I definitely learned a valuable lesson in the process. A second but similar scam happened to me when I was in the African country of Lesotho. I had spent the most horrible day out on the road. It was hot. People were bugging me all day long, coming up to me and asking for money and all kinds of stuff. It was just a terrible, terrible day. So at the end of the day, I pull into this town and I decided to pay for a hotel because I don't want to be out on the street with all these people. So I go into this hotel and I say, how much is it or whatever, and the guy says like, it's 800, whatever the money is there. I forget what it is. But so I say, okay, yeah, that's good. I think it was like 20 bucks or something, 40 bucks, I don't know. So I go out to my bicycle and I get my money and I bring it back in, and this is where I once again made a mistake. I was so tired. I don't normally do this, but in this particular instance, I was so tired that I just simply handed the man 800, whatever he asked for, right? Eight bills. They were hundreds. Each of them was 100, right? So I just hand the man 8 of them. And I see the guy, as I'm standing there, I see him take one of the bills, put it down like under the counter, essentially, somewhere under the counter where I can't see. And then he comes back to me and he says, sir, there's only 7 here. I need 1 more. But I literally saw him take the bill and put it under the desk. So I like confront the man. I'm like, no, I handed you 8, sir, and I just saw you put 1 under the counter. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, sir. And so I tried to jump over the counter, and he like pushed me back, and it almost turned into like a thing. And eventually I just said, you know what? I know you took the 100, but I'm gonna give you another 100 just because I'm tired and I want to go up to my room, you know. And the amount of money was like $2 or something. It wasn't much, you know. So I was just pissed, like, because not only was I pissed at myself for not counting the bills out in front of him, which is what I normally do, and it's what I recommend you do when you're handing over, especially like a large number of bills. Like if it's 200 and you hand over 200, usually this doesn't happen, but when it's a bunch like 8, it's very easy to swipe 1 or 2 of those bills, hide it, and then they say, oh, you didn't hand me enough, and you're like, oh, okay, so you just hand them more. That's like the scam that I've seen the most of all of the scams anywhere in the world, and I've caught it several times. But most of the time, if you count the money out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right in front of them, and you agree to that number before you actually hand the person the bills, then you never have this problem. So big lesson learned: never hand over a large amount of cash like that. You're just asking for somebody to scam you. Another scam that was attempted on me but didn't actually go over quite the way I think it was meant to go over occurred in Istanbul, Turkey. I was just kind of walking around with like my baseball cap on, looking like a tourist, and this man walked up to me, and he basically just strikes up a conversation, and he says, hey, where are you from, and you know, what are you doing here in Istanbul? And we're talking, you know, I thought that was strange by itself, but then this man has a friend come over, a friend come over, and he's like, hey, I forget the guy's name, you know, Amir or something like that. Hey, Amir, how's it going? And then Amir says, oh, this is my friend, you know, Ryan or whatever. And oh, wow, it was funny running into you. And then like these two men are working together, basically, is the scam, but they're trying to make it appear as though they just randomly ran into each other out on the street, you know what I mean? And then they introduce me to the friend, right? The first guy that I met, he introduces me, who's a complete stranger, to his friend that he just happened to meet on the street, right? And then the scam goes, for me at least in Istanbul, the guy says like, oh yeah, you know, my friend Ryan here has an amazing shop right down the street. If you follow him, he'll take you over there and he'll set you up with some really nice Turkish souvenirs or something like that. That's kind of what they were doing. And I wasn't going for it like at all. You know, I was like, I basically said to these guys, I was like, that was really good, guys. Like, I almost believed you for a second, you know what I mean? And both of the guys were like, oh man, you're too good, you know? They totally admitted to the scam right in front of me. But I've heard about this same scam happening to other travelers that I've met out on the road, and this happened actually to a woman that I met in Peru when I was traveling there. Same sort of thing, like she met one guy out on the street who then happened to run into a friend of his at the same exact time, and they had a shop nearby, and so they escorted this woman to the shop, and she thinks she's in there just looking at souvenirs and maybe she'll buy something and she'll get a good deal or whatever, you know what I mean? But what they ended up doing to this woman was they locked the door in the store behind her, and the guy, one of the guys at least, made like a sexual advance towards her, and luckily this was like a larger woman, and she was able to actually like beat him up and then unlocked the door and ran away. And then she went to the police and reported the whole thing. So I had heard about this happening to other people. You know, I've met people that this has actually happened to. So when it happened to me in Istanbul, I was like, I don't think I'm falling for this one, guys. But anyways, that's the third scam that has happened to me on the road. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of scams, but the fourth and final scam, which is not really a scam at all. It's like the most straightforward scam of any that I've run into, but I've run into this multiple times, and that is when you're traveling on a bicycle or even in a car or something, sometimes you'll be traveling down a remote road like I was in the Amazon rainforest in Colombia, when all of a sudden you come around a bend and there's a whole bunch of people, in my case there was like 12 of them, 10 or 12, holding a chain or a rope, or sometimes they'll just have logs or something in the middle of the road, and they're blocking traffic and they're asking you for money basically in order to continue on your way. So I was in Colombia, this happened to me, it was my first day in Colombia, came around a bend, boom, 10 people, 12 people holding a rope across the road, and they come up to me, I'm on a bicycle so I can't like turn around or anything. They come up to me and they're going like this, you know, give us money, 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 you know, dinero. And how I got through this was I didn't give them any money actually, and I've never actually given anybody money when I have been stopped in this way, and it's happened to me about 3 or 4 times in different parts of the world. But what I have done every single time is just play dumb, like I don't understand what is going on. So that's my strategy, and it kind of works because my Spanish is so bad that when I was in Colombia and they were asking me, I was like, no entiendo, yo estúpido, Americano, you know, and they're flashing money like this, like it's very obvious they're asking for money, but I'm just like, lo siento, no entiendo español, and I just play dumb long enough to where eventually they're like, ah, forget about it, dude, just go, just go. And that's happened to me every single time that I've been stopped in this manner, is just play dumb and then continue on your way. That being said, I run a website called bicycleterrainpro.com where I teach people how to travel the world on a bicycle. And because I run this website and because I have this YouTube channel, I hear from other travelers all around the world and people traveling by bike. And one time, several years ago, one of my Bicycle Terrain Pro readers wrote to me from the hospital in Africa, somewhere in Africa. I can't exactly remember where he was. I think it was Kenya. And he said, I was stopped in the road by a big group of people, like, and they had machetes and they were asking for money and I don't know, things on my bike basically. And what ended up happening is he put up a fight. Instead of just giving the guys some money, he said no, and he was trying to push them away and everything, and one of the men hit him in the arm with the machete, and it sliced off a whole bunch of his arm. So he gets sliced in the arm with a freaking machete, and at this point, as you can imagine, he gives up. You know, you get hit in the arm with a machete, you're done, you know? He's bleeding, and the guys grabbed his bike, everything he owned, and took it. And just left him there with this big gash in his arm, like his skin is just hanging off his arm here. And luckily he was able to get himself to a hospital. He was okay in the end, but he lost everything. So don't let that happen to you. Do not put up a fight. I do not recommend you do that. Playing dumb has worked for me. I don't know if it would work for you, but that is the strategy that I have taken. I think, you know, maybe you should carry a dummy wallet or something like that where you can hand over some of your money to the people if necessary, but you still have your real money in a different wallet. I've heard a lot of other travelers doing that sort of a thing. I don't know what the best strategy to dealing with this particular scenario is, but I do know that playing dumb has worked for me, and fighting the people is definitely not the way to go. So there you have it. Those are 4 of the scams, I guess you could call those scams, 4 scams that have happened to me on my bicycle touring adventures all around the world. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're new to this channel, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I would appreciate that. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified each and every time I publish a new video. And if you would like to receive a postcard from me and become a Bicycle Terrain Pro patron, be sure to click the link right here. Or I'm putting in the link down underneath this video. But basically you go there, and you can sign up to become one of my patrons, support my work as the Bicycle Touring Pro, and I will send you a postcard from wherever I happen to be in the world. I also send out t-shirts and a whole bunch of other goodies to my supporters. Once again, I am Darren Alf from BicycleTouringPro.com. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you out on the road sometime soon.